So then you reach a point where you've got this collection of tunes, and I think I ended up with 34 songs, some of which were 4 years old, some of which were 4 weeks old, 4 days old. And at that point, I compile them onto a playlist, and I send that playlist to Paul Wilkinson in Berlin and to John Downes here in Belfast, and ask people what they think. And some of the songs I sent to John Waller, who used to manage me back in the mid 2000s to about 2012, and asked for John's feedback, and he was very complimentary about the tunes as well. And so I then had this vast, for me, 35 songs or 34 songs, vast collection of tunes, and the challenge has been how to whittle that down to 14, which is very much a nice problem to have, a first world problem. And we finally have arrived at 14. And much to my amazement, some of the early selections, some of the songs that we got excited about, even songs like You Can Have My Heart, have not made this selection. They have been set aside for now because they fit more the singer-songwriter thing. And what I've got on this collection is much more hard-edged and more tempo and more beat and more energy than much of the stuff I would do as a singer-songwriter. So it's a completely different approach and a completely different sound that has probably, when you weigh it all up, taken 4 years to craft. So definitely not quick, but at the same time sounds very immediate and fresh to anyone who hears it and doesn't expect this type of thing from an artist who's essentially a singer-songwriter. And so am I apprehensive about this stuff? Absolutely. Number one, I've no idea how I'm going to play it all live, or if I should play it all live. Number two, I have no idea if people are going to like it. And there's always a certain level of insecurity with that, where you have no real idea if folks are going to go, oh, this is awful. And yet, I actually got some feedback. There was a person I sent 4 or 5 of the tunes to, and I got this email back, which was truthfully devastating. It basically said, your best days are behind you and you need to start co-writing with other people because your early stuff was good and this stuff isn't very good. Man, that's hard to hear. It's hard to hear when you think you're pushing the envelope and you think you're going to new areas and the feedback you get is, oh, you suck these days. You know, that's a hard one to unravel, and it was very difficult emotionally. And it was backed up with, and if you don't like what I've got to say, go and talk to all the yes people you surround yourself with. That's downright mean. I felt like it was almost like a slap in the mouth, considering an artist thrives on finding new things and new challenges and breaching boundaries and going beyond where they were before. And so it remains to be seen whether or not that person was right or wrong. Time will tell. People who buy the record or listen to the record, they will tell. And only maybe in a year or 2 years will I even get some of that feedback. Because generally speaking, I don't get an awful lot of feedback on my recordings. Only 1 or 2 people ever write to me out of the thousands on my email list. I rarely get feedback from people, and I often wonder if people like the record or if they're just being nice. Who knows? Anyway, time will tell. We'll see when this record comes out. And at this point, we're talking about calling the record Hot Diggity. So we'll see how that one goes over as well. That's definitely different.